Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'm TCaptainX. If you don't know me, I've been an iridescent level ranked player every single season of Rebirth Ranked. And today we're going to go over several strategies and tips for you guys to rank up and gain more SR in Rebirth Ranked Warzone. In Warzone, there are three main pillars of skill: your aim, movement, and finally the mental component, which I call game sense. I already have a Warzone aim guide and movement guide video on my channel, so if you feel like you struggle there or there's room for improvement, which there almost always is, you probably want to start with those first before we go into the game sense part, and those are linked below in the video description. But if you feel like your raw game skill is pretty decent, then we really have to shift our focus towards game sense and also for in ranked, team chemistry, because if we want to improve and go beyond the ranks of Platinum, Diamond, and even Crimson, that is an absolute necessity. So the best way to do this is to break down an actual ranked game. So let's jump right into this one. So this is I believe a Diamond 3 level ranked lobby. This was our first day playing ranked this season. Now, one thing I want to talk about as we are starting in here is I like to pick the same landing spot with my team and land there basically every game no matter what. For my team, that is going to be bioweapons. We're very comfortable here. We know all the little ins and outs. We know how to loot it very quickly. But one thing you might have saw here is there's like 3-4 teams landing here. Now this is rare. Normally we get 1, maybe 2 teams here, but we recognize this and we are instantly calling out to each other, hey, this is really hot. Now, one of my teammates, Canadizi, he instantly goes down. As soon as we know this, we have to be very, very careful to not wipe early, because wiping early, especially in these higher ranks, you lose a ton of SR, and that is what prevents you from ranking up. So I spot an enemy here. Notice how I looted that box, but I went straight to my pistol here. You have to be confident with pistol in these early game fights, and most of the time the pistol is perfectly fine here. Now, once I grab a gun here, I'm actually out of here and I'm heading straight towards industry, because we know there are so many people over there in bio, but it didn't seem like anyone went to industry from what we saw when we were landing in. So we're gonna just back off a little bit here. There's no need to get crazy and get super risky, and we are communicating that to one another. And now our next priority is, because we don't have any immediate threats around us, we are trying to loot as fast as possible, and we are trying to get to that $12,500 mark so we can prioritize getting a loadout here. Now notice how I'm still playing nice and slow. I'm not just running around with my head down and the only thing I'm looking is looting. I'm still looking at my surroundings. Are there people near us? Because I know there are plenty of people near bio here. I get a counter UAV, gonna call that in. You might as well, it's gonna confuse people around you. Now I just saw a glimpse of an enemy down here and I'm instantly making the call out, hey, there's an enemy down by the water, and I'm providing a ping for my teammates. A lot of you guys, when you guys are giving your comms, you're like, hey, there's a guy over here. And people are like, well, where is over here? At a minimum, say they're here, but then also ping a direction here. But try to give a geographical call out. So I say by the water here. I then say, hey, I think he's taking the zip. Bam, we get a kill here. We also, from the UAV pings, we're gonna get a bunch of UAV pings from that kill to say, hey, there is definitely still a team in bio, but we already pretty much knew that here. Now at this point, we're also making the call out here that we are very close to money here for our loadout, and we're gonna pick up, we're at 12,600, so we're instantly making the call out, hey, let's get a loadout down right now. One reason why we like landing at bio is because there's essentially 2 buy stations here. The industry buy and the bio buy are very close, and even the chemical buy is also pretty close here. So we have a lot of options if it's too heavy in one area for us to kind of push out from. With my loadout, by the way, this is my best loadout that I am using. I made a video about this recently. It is the STG and Static HV. I'll try to link that video in the description, but if not, just search Best Loadout Season 5. Now, one of my teammates did not get the loadout, so I'm going to be nice and I'm going to throw him a smoke so he can grab it. I'm trying to take a different positioning because we are currently getting shot at from chemical, so I'm trying to take some high ground here. As I first climb up, I don't see anyone here, so I'm like, you know what, I'm good. But I don't challenge from here. I'm going to get to a piece of cover first. You cannot stand in the open, especially in ranked. When I then start all of a sudden getting shot from multiple options, I'm getting shot from my left, I think I got shot from chem, and I'm getting shot from behind, and I just get out of there instantly. As soon as you recognize you are outnumbered, especially from multiple angles, you just have to get out of there and try to survive here. Remember, in ranked, we do lose SR when we die here, so I don't want to just risk going crazy here and dying and lose that momentum. Now we are heading towards bio because my teammate Cam made a call out, hey, there's still guys in bio. Let's push that because this fight's a little bit more isolated here. He knocks 2 in the stairwell and then he's going to throw a C4 and finish it off. So he's a good player, having a good team we are kind of all pretty similar skill level guys. And because of that, that is a huge component of ranked and being able to rank up is simply having a good team. If you're looking for teammates, you can absolutely try joining my Discord that is also linked in the video description below. And there is a channel in there looking for ranked teammates if you guys want to try to do that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here, as you get in these higher ranks, you cannot just sit on top of a building. Yes, bio is in zone, it is the first circle. I've got 3 kills already, okay? I could theoretically, we could sit here all game and just wait for zone to move and go place to place to place. If we do that though, we are not gonna gain that much SR. If you are not confident enough and skilled enough to keep moving and pushing around, you are not gonna really get out of Diamond or Crimson. You're definitely not gonna get an Iridescent. In no way you're getting in the top 250. So you're gonna notice how we move together as a unit from place to place, and we are making call outs to each other saying, hey, there's a team at Chem, we're going Chem. It's very clear and concise comms here. So Cam took the zip over. He took out one on the roof. Notice how also I am very active about live pinging my enemies. If you watch my hand cam, I'm very quick about hitting up on the D-pad here. Combat Scout is also a great perk to run, especially in ranked here. Notice how both of us are pushing, and then Canadizi, our blue teammate, he's also, I believe, right below us right now. We're all together pushing in the same direction, but notice how we are not like stacked hip to hip here. We're all taking slightly different angles. So Cam's a little bit ahead. He's gonna knock that guy, that first one that we were chasing, when Canadizi is below us and he's yelling at us, on me, on me. We look down, we're able to help Canadizi get that kill. So a big thing with ranked here, especially as you get in the higher level ranks, you absolutely have to play together as a unit, but you do not at the same time want to be completely hip to hip to hip stacked on each other. Now notice here, both my teammates jumped in the water because they're chasing the last teammate. Notice how I stay up though. One thing I do with these guys, both Cam, his name is actually Helix, and then Canadizi, they are very aggressive players. I recognize that, and because of that, I intentionally try to anchor a little bit and stay back just a little bit. Just in case they run into a situation, they get gunned to go down, that leaves me as to be the guy that can run away and get out and stay alive, because a huge part of ranked is just not wiping in the early game. When you have those accidental wipes in the early game, that is when you are losing tons of SR, which is delaying your progress from ranking up here. So, the immediate area is clear here. There's no one really around us, but we need to act off information. We need to keep the momentum going and keep trying to pick up as many kills as we can here. The only information we have is we see a loadout is down up at prison, and there was a ping up here just a moment ago. Another reason why we like to rotate this direction towards Chem and then Harbor is there's always a zip line over here. So we can then take this zip and we can go. Now, normally, if we had a little more money, we'd probably be popping a UAV. We are just short, though, so we're not going to worry about it. We know people are on the prison roof. We're going to go that way. Now, I clearly spot one enemy on the roof here. Obviously, I can't just go land straight on him here. If I do, that is a death sentence. Instead, I'm going to go veer left here. Now, a very cool thing is going to happen here. We don't even communicate this in game, but because I've been playing with these guys for a while, we've built a decent chemistry. Notice how I go left and my two teammates are instantly going right. We are pushing towards the same enemy, but because they go a different direction, I knock this guy to the left, and then they also end up knocking another guy who is to the right. They kind of full sent the guy that was more the direct threat, and I took a wider approach. That ends up being a perfectly timed team wipe for those two guys, simply because we went towards the same place, but we both took different angles. So when it comes to that team chemistry part, you have to play together, but again, you cannot just run hip to hip the entire game. You have to play off different angles, be available to get trades for others. Now, again, we're keeping things moving. We're going fast here. We see people near the tunnel here. Another cool thing is gonna happen here. My two teammates are gonna drop down in the tunnel because we know people were just ran in this way. Those two, again, like I said, they're the aggressive guys. I'm still pushing with them, but instead of me running all three of us in one little tunnel where we could risk getting wiped by a C4 in our explosion, I'm gonna take a different angle. I'm gonna go this way. They're gonna get a knock below, and I've got a guy right in front of me who's the last guy of this team running away here. Again, trying to harp on that same idea of you have to stay together and push together, but you have to take different angles. And ideally, one player needs to be a little bit more passive in case the more aggressive players are going to wipe. So that's something, as you go into a game, you want to try to identify who that is with your teammates here. Because of that, I wouldn't say any three of us are the true IGL or in-game lead. None of us are super dominant about who is making those call-outs here. However, I would say I probably make a little bit more call-outs with these guys in terms of directions we're going to go and stuff. And when we need to rotate, because I have a little bit wider view, whereas those guys, it's like take the collar off and just let them go. So they've already pushed into control. Again, notice how I'm a little bit behind. I'm letting them do their thing, and I'm just kind of looking at the bigger picture here. We're making call outs that this guy's over here. Notice the team shots. I only had to hit 1 bullet here. One thing that you're going to see as well is a lot of people are going to be flying in from a distance. We are always yelling out comms, say, hey, this guy's flying, he's weak, and we're trying to get a live ping so that we can communicate that and we can team shot people, because at a distance, you're rarely going to be able to knock people just by yourself here. So again, we're live, notice the live pings. Now this time, I'm gonna get a little bit more aggressive here. And when we do that, notice how all of a sudden the roles flip and now Cam is a little bit in the back and he's all of a sudden gonna become the anchor here. Now, he made a call out to me and said, hey, that guy's one shot. What I didn't realize was the guy that was one shot went down to another teammate. And so I ran in here kind of like an idiot. I ended up going down because there was a different player in here, but notice how my teammates are right behind me. They're able to get that trade and I don't even have to burn my self revive or waste going down and losing SR. Gonna loot that durable. Very important to loot durables when you can. Very crucial for endgame here. Again, notice how my 2 teammates are a little bit to the side of me and I'm playing a little bit off. We're all together, but we're trying to stay spread out and not be in this direct line here. Notice how we know there is a team in this building, but I'm not just full running in here. I'm getting close to my closest piece of cover that I can work off safely from, and I'm trying to see what's going on here. I take a different angle, again, spreading out. When Canadizi's gonna go down here. Now, I just spray for the living life of myself and I end up being able to knock this guy here. So Canadizi is down. We now have to all of a sudden change our play style because now we are down a man here. Now, we're also kind of in the open here. So I make a communication to Cam and I say, hey, let's go push into Big Green together. We have at least 1 enemy down there. We have numbers. Let's go together in here. I'm gonna smoke ahead just in case we get shot from the side. And I'm saying, let's go together, you and I, we've got this. We're going up, we're clearing it. I thought somebody was in there, nobody is. It seems all good. Since our teammate Canadizi is still coming back here, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna slow down here. We're gonna stay in this building. We're not gonna do anything dumb. Cam is making a call. There's people out here to the side in the direction I'm looking here. When all of a sudden, Cam is going to try to climb the roof and he goes down because actually there was a player up there who was just sitting on top of that ladder here. Now, he gives me a good call out and a good ping, so I know someone's there. I know I'm not going to be dumb enough to challenge it. He tries to throw a Semtex down. Again, I just want to see if he's going to drop down, and this guy is dumb enough to try to drop down. He accidentally gets caught on the ladder, basically gives me a free kill. Now Canadizi is back. He can land back, get his loot. Again, we're still down numbers here, so we're playing slow. We're just chilling in the building here. Whenever you're down numbers, slow down here, and there's no need to get too crazy here because those are the opportunities, again, that you guys are gonna wipe. And you're gonna end up losing a ton of SR here. So Cam's back. Because of the fire sale, Canadizi is going to run to the buy station. He's going to pop some UAVs, and I think he also gets a bunker buster. On the UAV, we've got a bunch of people to our right. We have 4 dots, meaning there's at least 2 teams there. So again, I'm kind of chilling here. I'm trying to see if I can just pick people off here when I get a knock. DZ also calls in a bunker buster. Bunker busters are incredibly underrated. Very, very strong in Rebirth here. We get a ping down here to the right, and I think Cam was killing him. He's saying, hey, there's a guy down here to the right, and there he is kind of hiding in here. We team shoot this as well. Easy kill. We're able to kind of wipe that team here. Zone's moving in though, so we've got to get going. We think there are people kind of to our right here. Not really sure. So again, we're gonna start rotating into zone. Now, one thing to keep in mind of here is Resurgence is about to disable. When Resurgence disables, you are going to notice we play much slower. Again, here is another example of we are literally saying, guy above us, 3, 2, 1, shoot. When you have someone floating kind of near you, you are much better to take your time, make a call out and say, 1, 2, 3, go, and all start shooting at once. And you will be much more likely to get those downs here. Now I'm gonna buy a bunker buster here, not a UAV. Again, like I said, the bunker busters are incredibly powerful, especially in the end game, because in the end game of the kind of final 2 circles or so, people are gonna really just hunker down in their one building, and the bunker buster is really the only thing that can force them out. Now right here, notice we are not in zone here, and the zone is gonna be kind of Nova and HQ and in. I'm gonna make a call out right here. We have the comms muted for the purpose of this video, but I'm gonna make a call out and say, guys, we've gotta get to headquarters now. We could go Nova, but from previous information, we had people shooting and pinging over here, whereas we don't really know if anyone's currently in the HQ or Grandma's building. So I say, let's go. Also, HQ is high ground over Nova. I'd rather be in a high ground position here. I throw a smoke just to be safe in case people are at Nova and are gonna shoot at us, as we immediately kind of just beeline it to get into a building and get into cover. And again, as you see, we started getting shot from Nova here. Of course, gonna get plated up. I do loot a self-revive. I've already got one though. There's no really need for me to have multiple, but one of my teammates did not, so I ping it for him. I'm like, hey, pick up the self. It is very important when all of your teammates have self, because it makes it that much harder for the enemies to down you at the end. Now my 2 teammates, they're focusing at Nova, while I was kind of looking back towards Tower here. When you're up on this building, Tower is a huge threat to you. In general, you really don't want to stay on top of this building too long because of Tower. But notice how I position myself behind the kind of box here, and I am just kind of staring. I've got cover, I can lay down in case, but I am just staring and focusing at control when a team all of a sudden rotates in. So I'm making that call out, hey, a whole team just went into the Tower building. My teammates were at Grandma's. See how they're instantly now coming back to me to come help because we have a threat very close to us. I'm also gonna utilize that bunker buster. I'm gonna call that in the center of the building. That's gonna force that team out of that building essentially here. Now, they call a PA. I'm gonna be honest here, guys. I have no idea how I survived here. I just blanked out and kind of tunnel visioned here and didn't see this nodie. I don't know how I live here. I'm right in the middle of it. I have no idea. I got lucky. Now, I had a self-revive. I probably would have been fine, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So, now again, notice we're playing slow here. I don't need to go send this and push this. Resurgence is disabled here. I have a very easy rotation to Grandma's to the next zone here. So I'm not worried here. I'm gonna just chill here, and I wanna see if one of these guys is gonna peek here, and I'm gonna see if I can just pick people off here. Again, not rushing, playing slow. My teammates are kind of focusing at prison here. I'm trying to help them, but I'm still keeping eyes on Tower building. When I get an armor crack here, now I know there's 2 people in here. I get aggressive and I push, and when I do this, I'm yelling to my teammates, I'm pushing Tower now. I'm pushing Tower. So you're gonna see Cam is running in, and you're gonna see Canadizi in Grandma's, who he's already in zone, and he's now kind of became the anchor. He's looking towards us. He's not with us, but he's looking towards us in case one of these guys runs outside of that building here. I'm playing nice and slow, just trying to see if I can catch anyone. Cam's gonna end up knocking one. He's like, I think there's one more. He gets shot and is running away. I'm able to instantly trade with him, and bam, we get that down. Now I've got that gas mask, so I don't need to take too much time, but I also don't want to burn it. I'm in a peculiar spot here. I'm kind of in the open. I don't have much cover besides this little sign. So I'm gonna use a smoke. I'm gonna smoke my way towards zone. Smokes definitely over stims in ranked, guys. In pubs, it can go either way, but definitely in ranked, smokes are better. Now we have, this is a healthy zone. 13 players left, 5 teams, and this zone is about to fully collapse here. We've got at least 3 teams, it looks like, in prison, and then we've got 1 full team in Nova here. So I've got to be very careful about how I position myself here. If I put myself on this part of the roof, nobody from prison can see me, and what I can do is I can just kind of lay on this edge, and I'm barely exposed from the Nova team. Now I know, based off this zone here, these guys have to be kind of underground, so that's why I'm staring just kind of right at this the stairwell here, and we end up getting a pretty good zone pool here. The Nova team gets a horrible zone pool, and we're in good position that we can absolutely work with the zone pool. So we know that we have holds here. Now, because this team is in such a bad spot, I'm telling my guys, I'm like, guys, I've got the Nova team. You guys focus on the other two. So you're going to see at the minimap, my teammates aren't really looking this way too much. But when the zone starts to move, I'm like, hey, now we have to hold Nova, come help me. So I'm kind of screaming at my teammates to come look my way. We get one down. We get the other one. DZ helps out with the second one. Again, DZ's the aggressive player. He's going. I'm going to play smart. I'm going to anchor. I know there's one more. He tries to come out of gas as my guy wouldn't run, and I kind of awkwardly got to cover there. DZ kind of full sent up there, but now he's realizing he can't burn his gas mask too much. I'm just playing slow. I'm waiting to see where this guy's going. He's actually going to come out here to the left here in a moment from this far stairwell. Here he comes. We see him. We team shoot. We get him down. Now we got to go. But again, I've got a durable gas mask, so I don't have to take my time. Now, right here, one thing I probably did is I probably should have been expected this guy to be here a little bit more, but notice as soon as I start shooting, notice how I back up. I back up to give myself a great heady to where my head is only barely exposed. I'm able to win that gunfight. My teammate actually called out right there, hey, you guys, a guy coming up the stairs. So I was able to be ready here. Awkward zone here, but notice how Cam has already rotated. He's in the tower. He's in an amazing spot. Me and DZ are now coming. But I've got kind of a cheeky little spot here off this wall because I know they're either down low or they're up top and they're going to have to jump here. So I'm maximizing what cover I have here. But again, DZ's up front, kind of leading it. Cam is up in the tower. I'm to the right. Again, notice how we are all taking different angles here. We're all kind of playing off different spots. We're together, but we're not stacked up on top of each other. Cam is going to full send this last guy because he had him down and was self-reviving, and bam, ends up being like a 200 SR game or something like that. I think I had 16 kills. Huge SR game because we played smart, but together, but not on top of each other all at the same time. So guys, I hope you found that video helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe. Like I said, definitely check out those aim guide and movement guide videos. They'll be very useful for you guys if you haven't seen them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.